Greetings, welcome back. So this video is kind of a request, if you like, by one person, which was Sean at Tagsters Arcade. If you haven't watched any of Sean's content, go check him out. Amazing channel, British lad living in Australia, and he loves his arcades. I'll put a link in the description. Cracking channel, go check it out. Anyway, this has kind of come about through a comment Sean left on one of my videos, and also because I'd done that totting up video of how many games I'd got in the collection, which then made me realise I'd got too many games in the collection, and so I thinned a few out, and I probably still will keep thinning out going forwards. I'm pretty sure I will. But anyway, I thought I might start running through a few collection videos, what I've kind of got left, if you like. And this is regards all my collection. I've never been one for collecting sort of shelf filler. It's always been stuff I thought was interesting. But that said, since I've kind of thinned out a bit, you know, you get more and more ruthless, and I think I'll get more and more ruthless going forwards from here. But I really now think, you know, there's certainly no rubbish to me. It's all stuff I'm either nostalgic for, or I do actually want to play, or it's a quality game, if you know what I mean. It's that kind of, that's all I've kept, if you like. Anyway, I'm not going to rush, mess about. Quite a few games in. This is the Megadrive collection, if you hadn't guessed from the hat, because Sean asked me if I'd ever done a Megadrive collection video, which I don't think I have. Could be wrong, but I don't think I have. So that's what I'm going to do here. But there's quite a few games in the collection, so I'm just going to fire through them more or less. And this is the entire collection. American, Japanese, and some PAL games. Bit of a mixture, more Japanese than anything, obviously. We'll start with the American games, I think, purely because they're the top of the pile. First up, we've got Championship Pro-Am. Amazing game. If you've played RC Pro-Am on the NES, this is kind of the sequel, if you like. Much the same, really good. We've then got Dashing Desperados, which is an American exclusive, I believe. Really fun sort of split screen platform racer where you've got to beat your opponents, you know, whichever, you know, one player at the top, two players at the bottom, in a kind of Sonic style. They've got to race to the end of the level. Really, really good. It always reminded me of a Neo Geo style game. Possibly because it's made by Data East, I don't know. Anyway, next up we've got Alien 3. I bought the American one purely because I like the box better, because it's got spine art. For some unknown reason the PAL box has got no spine art. We've then got Chuck Rock, which John Bunday's just done a video on, and this is actually the first, I think it's the first Genesis game I ever got for my Mega Drive. I imported this from one of the, you know, the classified ads in the magazines back in the day before we got it over here, because I thought the graphics looked amazing. And I've recently commented on one of John's videos that I'm not actually that keen on the game now, really. I've got it for nostalgia, really. I still do think the graphics are nice, but I don't think the game's all that, to be honest. But it's in lovely condition, this one as well, much like the one I had back in the day with the poster. Next up, we've got an absolute classic. We've got Aladdin. I've got the Genesis version purely because I've got a Genesis console, which I use as my daily driver, if you like. And I think that one's got a lockout chip in it, if I remember rightly, hence I wanted the American one so I could plug it straight in. Next up, we've got Contra Hard Corps, obviously a classic. needs no introduction. We've then got, now this is a homebrew, it's not a repro because it's not an actual game, it's kind of a hack type thing, and it's this Mortal Kombat Arcade Edition, which I bought off AliExpress, put it in my box. You know, myself just bought a cart only, but I seem to remember, yeah, it's quite a nice quality cartridge, much like a genuine one. Yeah, it's like Mortal Kombat with the faults rectified, more or less, I think, to be more like the arcade version. I've only played it a couple of times, but really good. Next up, this is pure nostalgia. I never play it, and I never will. But at the time, it was amazing. And we've got FIFA Soccer. I think it's definitely the only FIFA game I own. But it's for pure nostalgia. Next up, this is the last game I bought on the Megadrive. Crew Ball. I've still not got around to trying it. Because I went down a bit of a pinball rabbit hole. And I'd never tried this. Still haven't, obviously. Next up, a lot of nostalgia for this. It's not the best game, really, but I loved it back in the day. And it's Zany Golf, and it's one of the original big box EA style clamshell boxes. A few of the, well, all the early EA releases came in these. You don't see them very often now, and it's not perfect, this one, but it's reasonable. So yeah, I love Crazy Golf. This is frustrating, but it is still good. Next up, Lotus 2, which is basically Lotus 3 off the Amiga. The worst one of the series, in my opinion. We've then got Lotus 1, which is Lotus 2 off the Amiga, which is the second best game in the series, in my opinion. Really good on the Megadrive. We've then got an all-time classic, Road Rash. Fantastic game. And we've also got Road Rash 2. A lot of people prefer this one. I prefer the original myself. It's probably due to nostalgia, in the fact that I played that a lot more, and I don't remember ever having this back in the day. I may have moved on to other things by the time this came out, and I've never liked number 3. I don't know, something about that, I don't like it. Next up, played this to death back in the day. An amazing game, PGA Tour Golf 2. Again, it's purely for nostalgia now. I might put it on every few years just to have a blast for 10 minutes, but I'm not, you know, it's not something I'd sit down and play, but it was so good at the time. Next up, another quite recent addition, and we've got Psycho Pinball. Again, pinball rabbit hole. Had to get the one with the cardboard sleeve. These are really good games. Obviously, it's Pinball Dreams or Fantasies or Illusions, I forget which, off the Amiga. Cracking games. We've then got Micro Machines 2. I used to have all 4 Micro Machines games, but you only need one, really, don't you? I think 2, 96 or military, they're all pretty much identical, really. Right, then we've got Robocop vs Terminator, an amazing game. I think this is the only one without a manual. It's gone quite it's about 50 quid with a manual, I think, this now. But fantastic game. Then we've got Biohazard Battle, which unusually I would say this is better box art than the Japanese version, which is called Crying. I'm not crazy about that box art, if I'm honest. It's not the reason I bought this. I bought this because it's vastly cheaper than the Japanese one. But it's a good game, this, as shooters go, on the Mega Drive. It's a decent one. Next up then, we've got Outrun 2019. I never liked this back in the day. but playing it more recently, I don't think this is a bad game. It's really quite decent. It's got some cracking music in it. It looks a bit naff. It looks nothing like the original Outrun. You know, it's very futuristic and dark, drab, grimy, as the future might be expected to be. But take nothing away from it, it's a good game of in and Outrun style. And then the last PAL game I've got is Mercs. I did have the Japanese one of this at some point, but I think it went in a cull a few years ago now, and I ended up rebuying the PAL one again because it was much cheaper. But another good game, Mercs. Right. I've just tried, I should say, strawberry matcha latte. I don't recommend it. Not at all nice. I've tried matcha a few times. I don't get it. I think it's vile. I thought I'd give it one more go, being as it was strawberry flavour. It doesn't improve things. Right. Next up, we're on to the Japanese games. And I think these are all alphabetical order. Well, this first lot are anyway. First up, we've got Alex Kidd. Generally speaking, 90% of the time, the Japanese box art is way superior, as you will probably agree. So here we have Alex Kidd in the Enchanted Castle. I'm not a big Alex Kidd fan, to be honest, but I did quite like this one on the Megadrive. I remember buying this from Toys R Us when it was, I think it was in like, I don't know if it was reduced or something, but I seem to remember paying about 10 or 15 quid for it, brand new, back in the day. And it was really the first experience I'd had with Alex Kidd, because I never bothered with it much on the Master System. And like I say, I played through this and I seem to remember liking it at the time, but not something I've ever gone back to. Next up, all-time classic, Afterburner. I never understood why this got sort of mediocre, dodgy reviews at the time. Probably because the magazine people thought it was old hat, but it's still a good game, I think. We've then got Altered Beast. Again, kind of much derided in some reviews, but I don't know, it's got a charm, Altered Beast, to me. I think it's really rather good. And it's one of these nice Japanese ones with the wrap-around box art. Fantastic. Talking of amazing wrap-around box art, we've got Alien Storm. An absolute stunner of a box. I mean, you know, you can't compare it to the PAL boxes, can you? We then have Burning Force, which I never had back in the day, but this is a really decent Space Harrier clone, really. It's an arcade game, I believe. I think. Namco, I presume. I've never seen it in the arcade, but I think it's an arcade. But it's good anyway, Burning Force. We've then got Bare Knuckle. Amazing game. The second greatest beat 'em up ever made. Scrolling beat 'em up ever made. This is the best scrolling beat 'em up ever made, obviously. Bare Knuckle 2. Just, it blows everything else out the water for me. It's phenomenal. And then we finish off with Bare Knuckle 3. By far the worst in the trilogy, in my opinion. I was never a big fan of this. I thought the graphics were worse. The soundtrack was way worse. It just is a letdown. And it always will be, I think, to me. Especially after number 2 being so amazing. Another brilliant game. Castle of Illusion. absolutely stunning, and still a great game to this day. We've then got Crackdown. Now this is really rather decent. It never looked much on the box. I never tried this back in the day because it never looked much on the box, but it's a decent overhead sort of tactical shooter, maybe. We've then got Dynamite Duke, which is kind of an Operation Wolf style game, only you can see your character in sort of a transparent version of your character almost. Not a bad game. Another awesome pinball game. We've got Devil Crash. Probably the best pinball game on the Megadrive, I would imagine. Another one that gets overlooked, I would say, Dick Tracy. Really good game. And another one that's got beautiful artwork on the box. Look at that. The whole concept, Dick Tracy, I can't believe they've never made another film. Because the original film from the 90s, I think, or late 80s. Brilliant film. So much style. Love it. And this is kind of 2D scrolling beat 'em up shooter, where you've probably played it, but you fight people and shoot people in the foreground, and you've also got a sight to kill people in the background. Really quite good. We've then got eSWAT, which again I think is a really decent game. It's kind of Shinobi with guns, isn't it? Really good. Right, next up we've got, well, it's amazing on the Neo Geo. Obviously not quite as good on the Mega Drive, but it's a beautiful box. And it's Fatal Fury, obviously. Awesome game. Obviously, compared with other things, it's not as good, but I've got a lot of nostalgia for this. And it's the worst Fatal Fury game, technically, but it's my favourite Fatal Fury game for pure nostalgia. We've then got Final Blow Boxing, which is Buster Douglas Boxing on PAL. This is not a good Japanese box. But I'm not into boxing games or boxing in general, but I always quite like this one. It's kind of like Rocky off the Master System with much larger, fancier graphics. I used to have when I had a Super Gun, I used to have the arcade PCB of that, which was a nice cool thing to own at the time. Right, next up we've got Gain Ground. Now this is another one I totally overlooked back in the day. Always looked a bit of a naff box, sort of very basic screenshots, and I never played it. I only played this in recent years. This is really, really good. Again, a sort of overhead tactical shooter where you've got three different characters with different abilities, and you've got to get from the sort of bottom of the screen to the top to the exit and take out the enemies in the best way for you to get there without your three characters dying. Really, really good. We've then got an all-time classic, Golden Axe. I would say the second, or well, probably third best scrolling beat 'em up on the Mega Drive after the first two Streets of Rage games. Another beautiful wraparound box art. The front less so perhaps, but the back's beautiful. And then we've got an amazing box, and we've got Dai Makamura, or Ghouls and Ghosts. Just the box artwork on that is artwork, isn't it? Let's be honest. It's just beautiful and an amazing game into the bargain. We've then got another well-regarded game, and we've got Gunstar Heroes. It's a very nice box, I've got to say, and it's obviously a very good run and gun game by Treasure. Nice one to have. Then we've got, I've bought and sold this quite a few times in various culls, and I've bought it back. I'm determined to keep it this time because it's really good. Juju, or Toki, as it's known in PAL territories. It's another kind of nice box, I think. And it's a real good game, Toki. I know Steve loves Toki. Right, next up, fantastic game on the Megadrive. Moonwalker. I think this was the first Japanese game I ever had for my Megadrive back in the day. An absolute stunning game. Really, and it's still brilliant. I don't know what you'd call this really. Platform action game. Fantastic. Another fantastic game. Like I say, I've only kept stuff which I regard as being excellent. Quackshot. Brilliant platformer, much like Castle of Illusion. Loved this back in the day. Completed it. And it's another absolutely stunning box in my opinion. Just beautiful artwork. And a great game. And it's fairly cheap, that, just like Castle of Illusion. One of the last ones I reacquired. And we've got Road Blasters. Cracking game this. And it's really good on the Megadrive. The back's a bit boring, I suppose. But it's a really, really good game, Road Blasters. I never had this back in the day. Obviously it would have been quite an old game, I would imagine, when the Megadrive was out. But I played it in more recent years. So good. Sort of driving, shooting, racing. Hard to explain. It's a driving game, not so much a racing game. It's a driving game where you've got to get to the checkpoint in a certain time while avoiding obstacles which you can shoot. Honestly, it's really, really good. It looks amazing on the Megadrive. We've then got Super Masters. Do like a golf game, and I absolutely loved this, which is it's Arnold Palmer's Golf on PAL. Absolutely loved Arnold Palmer's back in the day. Played it to death. So I had to get that. It's got oodles of nostalgia for me. And then we've got Strider, one with awful PAL box artwork and quite stunning Japanese artwork. Mine, unfortunately, has got this ice sticker on, which is on the artwork itself, unfortunately. But that's kind of nostalgic to me for various reasons, so I don't mind it so much on this one. But a beautiful box. Right. We've then got arguably the best racer on the Megadrive. Arguably. It's Super Hang-On. A stunning conversion of the arcade, I would say. And it still plays and looks fantastic today. It's a brilliant game. Now these next two, again, I loved them both back in the day. Played them to death. Super Monaco GP. I absolutely loved the arcade machine, but it was so difficult I never got anywhere on it. But this Megadrive version, although scaled really down, it scratched the itch I had at the time. It was a great game. Superseded by Ayrton Senna's Super Monaco GP2, which added the sort of World Championship aspect to the game, where you could play through an entire season. Plus you had the voice samples of Ayrton Senna. Honestly, at the time, this was the greatest racing game you could possibly get, at least to me anyway. It was phenomenal. It was so good. And it still plays decent now. It just obviously looks quite primitive. Now we've next got Super Real Basketball. Now, I'm not into sports games except arcade sports games, which is what this is. But I remember having this back in the day. I swapped with some kid in the local newspaper, you know, where you used to respond to adverts. I'd got some game I wanted to get rid of, and there was this ad for this in the paper, I think, we'll swap, or whatever it might have said. Anyway, I went and swapped my game for this game. It's not too bad, actually. It's a bit like NBA Jam without all the turbo and the boom shakalaka. You know, it's a basic, very basic version of NBA Jam, I suppose, in a much more serious style. But it's all right. It's here now purely for nostalgia. We've obviously then got Sonic 1. Nothing much to say about that. It was brilliant at the time. And then obviously we've got Sonic 2. I do love the bonus stage on this. Still great to this day. I used to have Sonic 3 and Sonic and Knuckles, but they both went in a cull, and they're quite expensive to buy back, Japanese. And I'm not that bothered about them either, to be honest. So I've not got those anymore. We've then got Super Shinobi, or The Revenge of Shinobi. I don't personally like this Japanese box. I think it's a bit dull, but I know others do like it, so it must be an acquired taste. And I don't like how it's like blue and black together like that. Just don't look right to me. We've then got Super Shinobi 2, or Shinobi 3 over here. This is a beautiful box. Absolute stunner. And then we've also got Daz's favourite, Shadow Dancer. Another beautiful box. Absolute stunner. We've then got one of Steve's favourites, and we've got Street Fighter 2. It was amazing to get this on the Mega Drive, wasn't it? It was just a bit inferior to the SNES one, really. Or Turbo, anyway. It was better than the original SNES one. But I think as soon as the Mega... I can't remember now, time-wise, if this came out after the original SNES one, which made this one the best one, and then very shortly after Turbo came out, which was then better than this. I seem to remember was the timeline, but I could be wrong. But nevertheless, it's great on the Mega Drive. Now this one's much like Afterburner 2, and we've got Space Harrier 2. It got kind of dodgy reviews back in the day, which made me never bother with it. But playing it since, I think this is alright. It's a decent version of Space Harrier. I'm not sure I'd call this decent, but we've got Super Thunderblade. I do think the box is nice. It's just, you know, it was never going to do the arcade justice, was it? Let's be honest. It was quite an impressive looking arcade game, wasn't it? Thunderblade, with that sort of mini chopper arcade cabinet. I mean, it was a cool thing, and you know, you can't expect to replicate those sort of mega scaling graphics on the Mega Drive, can you? But you know, worth a go maybe. I've only got this in recent years. Tecmo World Cup '92. Like I say, I like arcade sports games. This is decent. Well worth a go. And now PAL version of that. We've then got again arguably the best racer on the Mega Drive, and we've got Virtua Racing. I love the Japanese box of this, but you know, it's a grey box instead of black, and I just love it's an amazing game. Virtua Racing is incredible, and I know it was expensive at 70 quid when it came out, but to think you could get, you know, a version of Virtua Racing on the Mega Drive, incredible. And yes, it's scaled back and not as impressive as the arcade. Inevitable. But honestly, it's so good. I know it's got the SVP chip to make it run and everything, but so good. We've then got Volfoid, which is fantastic. Like Kicks is the original, but this is like a follow-on from Kicks, isn't it? Really good game. I really like this. Now PAL version again for that. We've then got another nice box, and we've got Wonder Boy in Monster Lair, is it? Yeah, Wonder Boy 3 in Monster Lair, which is kind of a platform shooter hybrid. Not a bad game, I don't think. Reasonable. We've then got another all-time classic Disney game, and we've got World of Illusion in another stunning box. I don't think it's as good as Castle of Illusion or Quackshot, but it's still a mighty fine game. It was quite short, as I remember, back in the day. And then we've got another puzzle game, kind of similar to Kicks and Volfied. We've got Zoom. You never hear anybody talk about this, and it's not one you see about very often at all, especially PAL. Honestly, I think it's really, really good. You've basically just got to colour the grid in an Amidar style, really. But really, really good puzzle game is Zoom. Right, I'm still persevering with this matcha. I don't recommend it. Right, we've not got many left now. We're on to the shooters section. These are not alphabetical. Right, first up, we've got in Sector X. Another absolutely stunning box. And a good game as well in Sector X, I've got to say. Really good. Then we've got the classic Hellfire. Perhaps not the greatest box art on this one, but a good game. Another cracking game. We've got Gaiares. Now PAL version, unfortunately, just a Japanese and American, but a fantastic horizontal shooter. We've then got Granada, which is really, really good. It's kind of a shooter, but it's more in the line of Crackdown and Gain Ground, where it's a bit of a tactical shooter, where you've got kind of a large map and you've got to work your way around the map, wiping out all the enemies. And there'll be some larger, sort of more boss enemies within each level. Really good. I really like Granada. Next up, another beautiful box. We've got Gynog. Another fantastic horizontal shooter. We've then got another horizontal shooter, and we've got Fire Mustang, which only gets kind of middling reviews from memory. And it's not a top tier shooter, but I do think this is alright. We've then got Capcom's Forgotten Worlds. Another quite nice box. We've got a bit of spine fadage on that one. But not a bad game. It perhaps a bit awkward with the control pad, you might say, but still worth playing. Then we've got an absolute banger, and we've got Fire Shark in another lovely box. Another banger, in my opinion. We've got Dai Senpu or Twin Hawk. Another nice front cover, at least. The back's perhaps not so good. We've then got, I think this is vertical if I remember, yeah, Dangerous Seed, which is really good from memory. I've not played this for quite some time. But yeah, it's a nice vertical shooter, that one. And another quite nice front cover. Then we've got the classic Darius 2, which is Sir Goya, isn't it? The old fish tank simulator. Then we've got one which is not as good as perhaps everyone wanted it to be, and it's Super Airwolf, which kind of switches between your ship being regular sized shmup ship and one that's huge in different levels. And it's got the amazing Airwolf soundtrack. So I don't know, that kind of elevates it a bit to me, just hearing the Airwolf soundtrack while you're playing. It's a fairly mediocre shooter really, but it's the Airwolf thing that makes it cool. And it's not a bad box, is it? Really. Right, next up we've got Thunder Force 2, which I never really bothered with much, to be honest. It's one of these I need to sort of put a bit of time into, really. And then we've got Empire of Steel, or Steel Empire. This one, which way round is it? The PAL one's Empire of Steel, isn't it? This one's Steel Empire. Really quite a good game, this. I still need that modern version you can get for the Switch. But yeah, it's a good, I do like this kind of a horizontal airship shooter, isn't it? Really good. Then we've got, I made this box myself, Super Fantasy Zone, just so as it blended in with all the others. Obviously it comes in one of those tiny Sunsoft boxes, so I made this up myself and put it in a regular size box. But it's a good game, Fantasy Zone. Then one of my favourites, or one of my favourite shooters anyway, and we've got Raiden. The Megadrive version gets a bit of hate, and obviously it's not as good as the arcade, but it is really, really good, and I think it's a lot more forgiving. It's easier than the arcade is. It's really good, Raiden on the Megadrive. Then we've got another beautiful box, and we've got Felios, which is another vertical shooter, another Namco game. Really, really good. Another good game, Tower Plan again, which is obviously quality. And we've got QQ Tiger, Tiger Heli. Another nice box. We've then got XDR, which I can't remember much about. It's horizontal. Looks alright. I'm sure it was alright. I would have got rid of it. But yeah, that's XDR. And this is quite good, and it's quite reasonably priced as well. Whip Rush. Now PAL version. Much in the mould of R-Type. From, if I've got the right one. I think I have. But it's another nice box as well. That's Whip Rush. More Tower Plan Gold. And we've got Grindstormer, or VV 55, whatever you want to call this. I don't know about the box on this, to be honest. I think that possibly the American box is better, because there's now PAL version. I used to have the American one way back in the day. We've then got a very recent purchase. We've got P47-2. Again, I love the box art on this. Everybody and his dogs picked this up recently. But really nice game. We've then got Thunder Force 4, which is regarded as one of the best shooters on the Megadrive. I'm not over keen on it, if I'm honest. The graphics are too it's unusual for me to say, but for me the graphics are too colourful. It all makes seeing things awkward, I think. But it's a quality game, that aside. One of the best ones on the system for me, and we've got Tatsujin. Rock hard, but what a stunning game. Truxton, obviously. Awesome game. Awesome box as well, actually. Beautiful. Another classic Tower Plan game. We've got Zero Wing. Quite a nice box, I would say. And a really good horizontal shooter, that one. And then the last shooter, and again, some might argue it's one of the best on the system. It's certainly my favourite Thunder Force game, Thunder Force 3. This is really, really good. There is a crazy expensive PAL version of this, isn't there? But a cracking game. Right, we've got 4 left. And I've saved the best till last, obviously. We've got Outrun, of course. One of the greatest, oh, the greatest game ever made, alongside with its sequel. And it's beautiful. The PAL box is beautiful, don't get me wrong, but I do like the Japanese box as well. It's really, really nice. It's obviously not the best version of Outrun. We've then got another amazing box, and we've got Turbo Outrun. It's just, again, the PAL box is nice, but this is better, obviously, because it's a full box picture, which also spreads to the back like many of the Japanese games. I quite like Turbo Outrun. It's nowhere near as good as the original, but I do quite like the game. But again, there's better versions of it than this. The Marty version's the best I've ever played, I think. And then we've got, I forgot this because it was over there, a Genesis game, and we've got Outrunners. Obviously a much later sequel from the arcade. Got ported to the Megadrive, again, never a PAL release, only Genesis and Japanese. Much scaled down from the arcade, really. It's not the greatest game on the Megadrive, but obviously I had to have it. And we'll end with arguably one of the best box arts on the Megadrive, which is the Japanese version of Outrunners. And I mean, what an absolute stunning box. It's a shame the game isn't as nice as the box, because the box is extraordinarily good. It's just, I don't know, I don't like the arcade version of Outrunners all that much, if I'm honest. Although I've never played it a huge amount, because I've never seen the arcade cabinet itself, I don't think. I've only played it on emulation. It's not... It's good, but I don't know. Something about it, I just don't click with it. And this is obviously a much worse version of it. But it's kind of a nice curiosity to have. And like I say, I absolutely love the box. It's a stunner. That's Outrunners. And that's the entirety of my Megadrive collection. I don't see myself adding any more to it, but who knows, eh? Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments about any of those, and anything about the Megadrive at all, for that matter. But thanks for watching, and hope to see you soon, all being well.